the top 10 rules to follow while in prison. And these are rules that I live by no matter what security level prison I was in. I was only in maximum security prisons and a medium security prison. I never went to lows or camps, but these are good rules to follow. And if you follow these rules, you're gonna be all right in prison. And these are important rules because listen, they'll save your life, and they really will. Before I get started, please check me on YouTube member program. Check me on Patreon. Check me out on Discord. Check my book out, Gangster Redemption. Check out merch out. Check all that stuff out. Please subscribe and please pass on these videos because they do help us, because we're going to make changes in this prison system someday. So the 10th rule, do your time. You know, a lot of people want to fucking complain. A lot of bitch. They cry. Now, when you go to a maximum security prison, you're not going to do that. There's people with life sentences. So when they do your time, is don't be a complainer. Don't be a whiner. Don't be a pussy. You know, you got your time. You should fight it. Go to the legal library. Do everything you have to in that regard. But just do your time. Don't do other people's times. You know, there's an old saying in prison too, you know, don't let the time do you, you do the time. And what that means is you can drive yourself fucking crazy in prison. You know, I've heard every story in the book, why they got convicted, who was the asshole, who was not, everything in the world. And I feel for people, don't get me wrong. But we all have that. Everybody in there is in the same position. So in that case, do your time, man. Don't fucking be a bitcher. Don't be a complainer. You know, that's not the kind of guy you should be. Don't do other people's time. Don't tell them how to do their time. You know, that's not good either. You know, it's kind of that mind your own business shit. But that's number 10. Now, we're going to go to number 9. Stick to your word. Your word means something. You know, if you tell someone you're going to meet them on the yard, meet them on the yard. If you tell someone you're going to help them be a lookout for a tattoo guy, do it. Don't walk off. Don't do something. You know, like a lot of guys, you know, who do tats, they'll have a guy on the railing. He'll be the lookout for the guard. So when the guard comes, they just all sit back, they hide the shit, and that's it. Don't be that dude who says, I'm going to do it, and doesn't do it. Or, hey, I'm going to skip chow tonight to help you guys. And then, you know, don't skip, you know, chow. It's like, stick to your word. I think that's the most important thing in prison. One of the most important things, even though it's number 9. Number 8, say excuse me. And you're going, what do you mean, Lawton? What do you mean, Lat? Say excuse me. See, the guy get stabbed for not doing that. You know, when you bump into somebody, excuse me. That's a big thing. Excuse me. Respect each other. Excuse me. That, you know, don't be a guy that thinks you have to be that tough guy in prison. I don't fucking say I'm a badass, I'm a this, I'm a that. You know, that's all bullshit, you know. That's why rule number 8's got to be, say excuse me. Because if you say excuse me, you're going to probably de-escalate a situation. You know, two guys walking in the hallway, they bump into each other. Excuse me, bro. Sorry about that. Don't be scared to do that. I mean, say you're sorry when you're wrong. You know, you might be dealing with people, like everyone wants to be the tough guy, but that can get dangerous too. Don't ever think it can. Rule number 7, listen before you talk. These are good rules probably on the outside too, but in the inside, they're very important. And here's what I mean by that. You know, you go to the chow hall and you're sitting down with a bunch of people and everybody's talking. Everybody wants to tell their story, if you want to call it that. But listen first. You'll learn more from listening. And you'll see the big shots, the bigger people. They're big listeners. Now there's a time and a place to tell your story. I was a guy in the law library, so I listened a lot. I listened to the guy's story and I could pick out the bullshit or pick out the crap that he thinks is, you know, important, and it's not. And sadly, it's not. It's just the way it is. But listen. Whenever you're in a group setting, listen. I think this is a great rule on the outside. Again, these are really great rules in life, but in prison, they're a must. Don't forget that. Number 6, mind your own business. You're going to see a lot of things. You know, I would be walking down the hall. Now, in maximum security prisons, you mind your own business. You might walk down the hall and see a drug deal going down. You might see going by, and you might glimpse a guy fucking another guy. You might go glimpse down, you see a guy shooting heroin in his arm. Mind your own business. Don't ever go up to them later, even if you're cool, and say, hey man, listen, you got any papers? Papers of heroin. Hey, where can I get the papers? Mind your own fucking business. You should have a clique of friends that know everything that's going on in that prison. And anyway, and if you don't, there's a reason for that. And the people in that prison will pick you out too. So don't think they don't want to sell their dope, or they don't want to, even give you credit for it. But you mind your own business. I remember on the yard in Atlanta, when you walked into the yard on the left, you could sit along where the soccer field was, and along the wall there was a place where everybody, a lot of different groups and people would sharpen their shanks. They would sit and sharpen their shanks. Just go and mind your own business. Don't go back there, walk. Don't keep looking. Don't bring any attention to that area. You're going to see a lot of things going on in prison that are, one, illegal. Guys trying to escape. Guys trying to do dope. Guys trying to fuck somebody. Doing whatever. Mind your own business. Let it all play out. You're not the fucking man. You're not the fucking guy that's going to run the place and stuff of that nature. So you don't do that. So you mind your own business. And that is rule number 6, which I think is an important rule. Rule number 5. I put this in here because it was my pet peeve. And I ended up doing something to somebody. Be clean. Practice good hygiene. And what does that mean? In prison, we eat out of our sink. You get the sink toilet combination in prison. I remember in prison, there was a new cellie I had. You shave, you got the glass, it wasn't even glass, it was stainless steel. And a young kid, and he kept shaving, and he'd leave his fucking, shavings in there, after he washes. When the water goes down, you see the shave crap. So I told the kid, I said, man, clean your shit up. So he grumbles or whatever he does, try to act like a tough guy, and sure enough, he did a little other things that kind of pissed me off too. When you go to the bathroom, you take a piss in a toilet in prison. To this day, it's a habit of mine. I take toilet paper and I wipe the rim. Now, in prison, you don't have a seat cover. It's just the stainless steel shit you sit on. Now, I wasn't one of those guys who put toilet paper down, all that shit. I just wasn't. I'm clean, but I'm not a fanatic. I'm a nut. I'm not a nut in my mind. But you wipe down the toilet seat when you're done. In your sink, you clean it. Well, the second time this guy did that to me, second time he did this to me, I fucking grabbed his head and fucking smashed it into the fucking concrete wall. Because he did the same exact thing. He fucking shaved, and I come in the sink, and he's sitting there, and he was just getting ready with something out of his locker. And I said, yo. He looked at me, and he gets up like a tough guy, but he's not. I said, yo, the fuck? You leave this shit? He goes, man, fuck that. I grabbed him. He had long hair. I grabbed his head. I fucking slammed it right in the fucking concrete wall. Bam! Fucking blood just puked. You break a nose. And fucking slammed. He goes falling. He was out of it, like almost knocked out. I fucking got so boom. Well, person heard me screaming, and a couple of person, and a guard was walking by, not walking by, but walking down the hall. He came. They look. He's on the floor. Blood is everywhere. Of course, I go to the hole, and I'm in the hole. And the lieutenant asked me, Lawton, what the fuck you do? I said, listen to me, man. This guy ain't cleaning his shit out of the sink. Don't put somebody in me who has bad hygiene. It's bad enough I live in this fucking scumbag place we live in. I gotta live with somebody who's a scumbag to boot? No. Be clean. Practice good hygiene. That's very fucking very important. Because that's a house. I make soups out of that water. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth. You clean that. You don't leave the fucking toothpaste in the fucking bottom of the fucking plate. Clean the fucking thing. I'm not asking you to fucking take polish and clean it. Clean it. Come on, man. Be hygienic. Take a shower. You know what I mean? Fucking don't stink like a motherfucker. Body odor. You go to the gym. You're out in the yard all night. You're playing on a basketball team. man, you better be waiting on that fucking shower line. Take a fucking shower. Because I don't want to smell your ass when you're in the fucking cell. You live in this cramped little fucking 8-foot by 10-foot cell and you got a guy smelling? Come on, man. Practice good hygiene. It's important. Next rule, number 4 for me. Knock on the door. That cell is my house. Remember that. Now, you're talking about guys with life sentences, 50 years, 30 years. I was lucky. I had 12 years, 4 12s. I fucking still, that room, my cell was my house. When you're in that fucking cell and you don't know the guy like he's your best friend and you guys know each other, you go in and out of each other's cell, you know, you live next to him, you're going back and forth with dope, you fucking do whatever you're doing. Drinking, a lot of times, you know, be drinking and you know, you leave the fucking hooch in somebody's cell and that's the cell, you know, and it's covered. We got a guy watching for guards. We know the fucking deal. But I don't care who you are. If you don't know me like that, you walk up to my cell. The door is open. It's wide open. I'm sitting on my bunk. You don't just walk in, because I'll get up, I might stab you. You get up, you walk up to the door and you knock on the frame. I look up, yo, you know, come on in. You give a nod. Comes in, he goes, hey, Lawton, man, can I borrow 3 books of stamps? Or hey, lad, I got fucking legal work. Can you help me out? Let's discuss it. Yeah, sit down. Hey, you're transferring books or whatever it is. I don't mean just stamps or dope or something illegal. I'm talking about regular books, regular things. But it's my house. Now, if the cell door is closed, now they're not locked. We can't lock the cell in prison, but you can close the cell. Now, like when you take a shit in prison, you go in. We used to put a towel, like there was a door, you know, they have a window. It's a big steel door, but there's a window. So what we used to do is we used to put a towel up and then pull the door closed. You know, so it's over the thing. And you see that, somebody knows there's something's going on in that cell. Meaning you're taking a shit, you're jacking off, you're fucking somebody. That's kind of the privacy sign. But even the guards would know it. Some were jerk-offs. You'd get guards who walk them and just pull the thing open. I've gotten caught literally jacking off in my cell in the middle of the day, had the sheet up, you know, the towel up over the door. The door flies open. I got my dick in my hand because I'm on the toilet, and I got my dick in my hand. The guard looks in, closes the door. Fuck, leave me the fuck alone, man. I'm trying to get my privacy. That's just something that's you knock. That's important. Rule 3, respect the phone. Now, in the prisons I was in, they didn't have one phone for the gangs. This is not county jail. Everybody knew everybody was a killer. So, you know, you don't play with the phones. Meaning, somebody's on the phone, you don't go by there screaming. You don't go by there fucking getting real loud. People on the phone. You get 15 minutes on that phone. Then it hangs up automatically. Now, I'm going to fucking wait for your ass to fucking, shut up, right there. Guys near the domino tables or guys near the area. Don't be yelling, screaming. Take your shit somewhere else and respect the phone area. Respect that. Because 1, it's my money. 2, it's my family. And when I also say respect the phone, this is what I mean also, because I've seen a guy get killed. You never know what somebody is talking about on the phone. And here's what I mean. One time this guy ended up calling home. He found out that his family was killed. By the wife killed the kids and committed suicide. Something crazy on the phone. The kid fucking lost it. Totally lost it. Somebody fucked around with him after he got off that phone and he stabbed him. He snapped. That phone is a very respected area, and what goes on that phone is a respected area. Now, things happen on that phone. Guys will put you on or give you their number on their phone list because you just can't call anybody. You have to put a phone list in. When you put the phone list in, it's all these numbers. Well, when there was guys that called a lot, we maneuvered. Prison kind of got to know this. But since we maneuvered, what we would do is fucking take that. And what do? We put the fucking a number on another guy's list. So you use his minutes. You buy his minutes off him. You only got 300 minutes a month. Think of what I just said. That's nothing. 120 minutes is 2 hours. You only get 300 minutes. Think of that. It's not a lot of fucking time for a whole month. Especially when you want to call and say hello. You can't. It's a tough thing. And when people get off the phones, don't fuck with them. You know, and you know, the phones are funny because I used to see new guys come to prison and they'd say shit. They'd get on the phone, you know. You'd teach them how to use the phone. They'd call you over. Hey, Lawton, can you tell me the address to send something? You know, because you know it. You've been in a prison a while. And you'd hear the guy curse his girl out. You'd hear the guy fucking say, who the fuck you fucking with? You better not. I always used to tell him after I got to know him. I say, hey, kid, what are you fucking doing? And they'd look at me. What do you mean? I said, does she send you money? Does she write you, visit you? Yeah. She taking care of your daughter or son or whatever it was? Yeah. Then shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit if she's getting her pussy eaten right there. She's sending you money. What are you going to do about it? You think you can get out of this prison? What do you think? You're going to divorce her because you're the man? You need her. Respect her. You're in prison. She's not in prison. Remember that. That's a big thing people don't get. You're in prison. She's not in prison. And that goes for everything, you know. Listen, I used to say to them, hey, listen, did you used to get fucked when you're outside? And they go, yeah, I used to get laid every day. I go, what do you think, she stopped? You're in here. You think she stopped? So they get it back one time, and I'd say, you know, then I got to know them good. I used to fuck with them and say something like, listen, while she's on the phone with you, there's a guy eating her pussy. So shut the fuck up. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. The phone area is a area where I put it number 3, the most important, because you see a lot of people get killed around a phone, over a phone, and it's crazy. You know, you take a guy who's got a life sentence, gets one call with his fucking daughter a month maybe every other week or whatever. You fuck that up, what does he give a fuck? So he's going to the hole. Big fucking deal. You know, until he gets the shot, until they take his phone, he's still got that. The second most important rule in prison, pay your debt. I mean, great thing out here. Pay your debt. If you go to a store, man, and you make a deal for soups, it's usually 2 for $3. Gives you 2, you got to give him 3 back. He, you know, whatever. He can give you stamps, loan shark, whatever. Sports gambling, dope. Pay your debts. You know, it's sad because a lot of times you hear young people calling their mom, hey, I need $100, I have to have it. It's because he's getting pressed. He got into debt. Now, I want him to get out of debt. And I tell families, listen, you got to realize what's going on in there. But don't make him always get out of debt without a consequence. And that means, like you tell him, I don't care what you're doing in there, but I'm only sending you this amount of money. And, you know, when they call you, sometimes it's going to be rough for the family, you know, because that happens a lot. And they'll call me, what do I do? It's tough because I know what the kid's going through. But he's got to have the responsibility to pay his debt. Because you are not only fucking with people that are in prison, you're fucking with killers. I was in prison with a guy named Reno. Reno was a head of a Latin case. He was a great guy, good friend. I taught him, I used to fuck around with him, meaning like he loved me because he would say, Larry, what do I do? How do I handle this situation? You know, so I taught him how to be a bookie, bookmaker in prison. That's with the football tickets and everything. Well, a guy owed him $40. $40. He was gonna kill him. I seen guys get killed for a cigarette pack, the cover, the plastic cover. I seen a guy get killed for a book of stamps. A book of stamps, and in prison that was worth $5 at the time. So you pay your debt. You pay your debt no matter what. You go to somebody, you get to the right people, and you borrow if you have to, and then you pay that one, because eventually somebody's gonna fuck you up. So it's not out here, you can't file bankruptcy. You can't just say blow somebody off and say fuck it. You're gonna pay your debt one way or the other. Whether you're gonna have to do a hit for a gang, take it in the ass, fucking be turned out or whatever it is, pay your debt. Just pay your fucking debt. Always remember that. It's number 2. The number 1 rule in prison is no snitching. Sounds easy, right? It is easy. If you do all the other things, you can mind your business, you can clean, you can do everything right. No snitching. I don't care how much you think you can get over. They call them note dropping in prison. They even have it on the phones where a person can dial the phone like they're calling home and dial what they call the SIS, the police of the prison. Nobody likes a snitch. Not even the guards like the snitch. The guards talk about these snitches. So don't think, I'm getting close with the guards because he's snitching or whatever. I know people hear all the stories, and this is true. They call it a Rule 35. A guy goes in prison, he got 20 years. You look his paperwork, he's legit, he got 20 years. but he's working on what they call a downward departure under a Rule 35. That means he gets close to Larry, and he wants Larry to tell him where a body is that he killed, or Larry to tell him who his dealer is on the street, or Larry to tell him who the other robbers are. Whatever it is, they try to get information out of you to snitch and get what they call Rule 35. Well, I used to find that out. And once I found that out, I gave it to whoever situation was fucked up, and always something very bad happened. And it's going to continue to happen. Listen, again, it goes back to number what? 9. Stick to your word. Well, snitching's even one step better. Forget your word. You might know something. Don't snitch. And again, we're not dealing with a civilian. As often I tell people, what is snitching? Larry and I in prison doing a fucking drug deal. I get caught and go to the hole and say, listen, I want out of the hole. I want to go to a different prison. Now, everything, I was partnering with Johnny over here. That's snitching. I don't believe in it. In the outside world, the real world we're living in now, somebody robs my house, you call the police. Let them come do their investigation and catch the fucking assholes who do it. If my mother's robbed, or a cousin or a friend or anybody, snitching is not getting the cops to get that person. That's all twisted. You hear these gangs say, oh, nobody's gonna snitch in this fucking apartment building. Don't fuck with fucking civilian people, and nobody's snitching. If you're doing deals with your drug dealer, your runner is running, and then he gets caught and he snitches on you, that's snitching. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. That goes back to a man's word means something. Snitching is not that. Snitching is you doing something with somebody else and then fucking goddamn telling on them. Snitching to me in prison is trying to set me up, trying to make me say something. Now, I'm the moron if I do it. I'm the idiot if I talk about anything. I mean, I never would, but people do. They get bored, they get old, they get whatever. And that's snitching, because you're going to be known throughout the whole system as a snitch. And that's one of the worst jackets you could take with you, that or a child molester. So those are the things that the top 10 rules to live by in prison. And if you follow those rules, you'll get by in prison. So I hope you like this video. We keep coming out with them. Keep giving me the comments. I love it. Keep giving me the suggestions. They're on a list. We're going to get to a lot of them. Have a great day, and please make good choices so you don't ever go to prison. It drives me nuts when I hear people go to prison over stupid shit. Make good choices. Help somebody every day. And stay tuned for our next video. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching.